Welcome back to the second half. All of you are summoned to a full unit briefing for the introduction of a new commander. We're talking mechs on parade. All of the tanks are out and shiny. Pavel is not currently holding a bottle of alcohol. That's how you know it's serious.
McGurk does not show up.
Wow. Really?
Really?
Okay. What about the rest of you?
I have to
Is there a unit form for the company?
Yes.
Yes.
Right. There are two dress uniforms. The first one is like a military dress uniform. The other one is the secret semi-clan blood mark uniform for once you've served and killed at least one clanner, you get it to join the like secret cultish thing that the Countess made. It's a thing mercenary units do. Yeah, Northwind Highlanders do this. It's super weird. Selena, you show up?
I do show up.
Caroline Hauser?
100%.
Pondo, you said you were showing up, but do you show up like reluctantly?
Internally, yes.
Does it show on your face at all?
No.
Like a sort of grimace of pain, like maybe you need to take a big poop?
No.
Okay. Your absence is remarked upon, Butch McGurk. By several...
I have no doubt.
Yeah, by several lower-ranking people. It spreads like wildfire before someone calls for order and attention. A man who's in his mid to late 60s with a top knot, wearing Draconis Combine naval fatigues with rank bars indicating that he's a Shosho, Brigadier General of the Admiralty, Commodore, technically. Marches forward. He does have a sword, and it appears by the way it's holstered that he's actually left-handed, but he's not holding it currently, but his knuckles keep brushing up against it as if he's ready to pull it out. He stands before everyone and gives the unit a deep bow and holds it there for a time. There's some shifting around. People are looking at you to know what to do. Vincent.
Bania will salute the gentleman.
All right, everybody salutes and comes to attention then. As that happens and he hears, like a wave of people emanating out from you, saluting, he rises up and says, "Good afternoon. My name is Shosho Akira Oda. I will be taking command of this unit effective immediately at the orders of Countess Crystal Crow. I have served my entire life as part of the Admiralty of the Draconis Combine. There is a code within this unit, traditions, operations, and orders, which I will not disrupt. I look forward to working together with all of you, and that we will excel in our chosen mission as warriors of fortune. You are all dismissed with the exception of Major Vincent Gray and his command staff. If you could stay behind and speak with me."
Absolutely.
So,
Did I miss his name? What was his name?
Shosho Akira Oda.
Okay. Gray would know, right? Like Butch, I'm sure they would have, like, at some point, Gray would have been like, "Dude, are you coming?" And he would have been like, "No."
I'm assuming it's you. Pretty much, I'm assuming Gray knows that you.
He
don't
knows,
show up
like,
because
yeah, Butch lost his best friend, like one of the few that he has left, and he's not ready to stand in a parade for his replacement. It's nothing personal necessarily against this guy. It's just this is part of Butch's coping and grieving, right? Like he understands, he gets it. There's a new commander. He doesn't technically have a problem with that. He's just not. He's not going to stand in front of a bunch of people and celebrate the replacement of his best friend, right? Like that's just not something he's prepared to do.
So let's be clear. No one here is celebrating. Everybody is just like, wow, that was a really short speech, and then we left.
Well,
it spent more time organizing everybody than it did to actually do it.
It's a change of command ceremony, right? Like that's what it is. So he's not, he's not ready to be a part of that. And Gray knows that, and it's totally like cool to pass that on if he wants. He can do what he wants with that information. But McGurk is probably not even on base. He's probably at whatever the nearest like cantina is. Yeah, he's just hanging out. Not blowing it out or anything, just
nibbling on sponge cake,
just being calm somewhere, probably
watching the clams bake.
Yeah, that's it. Wasting away.
Do you bring anyone along with you to the meeting, Gray?
My command staff. So
okay, so Caroline and Selena then.
Yeah.
All right, so the three of you stand before him. He comes down off the podium to talk to you on the same level, and he holds out a hand for you to shake, left-handed, before he shifts and holds out his right hand.
I think like as soon as he put out his left hand and before he slid it out, Benito put up his left hand. He switched back to the right.
So yeah. No, he switches back to the left then, and he holds it there. He waits for you to come to the left as well.
Yep, he'll switch to the left.
He gives a slight bow over the handshake and says, Major.
Commander?
Brigadier General.
So General. Got it.
Yes. General Oda.
General Oda. Understood. Pleasure to have you aboard.
It is a pleasure to have you aboard.
We'll see you in a couple of weeks.
My understanding is that your particular unit will be detached from the rest of my command because of your unique skills and technology.
We're better as a splinter group than we are as far as a more larger direct force.
Might I ask you to stay on as the executive officer?
Absolutely.
Major, I know that you might have had thoughts that this is a position that would have gone to you instead of me.
It was a consideration, but I knew it wouldn't be actually the case. Although I was expecting to be only temporary, but not this temporary. That makes sense.
Is future command of this unit something you see in your career path?
It's something that I see as a goal line, if possible. So I'll know that.
I would be willing to take you under my wing as a protege to develop your flag officer skills.
So it'd be an honor.
One of the first things we will work on is the awkwardness of introductions.
You would have to forgive the unit for that. We just lost our commander, and it's kind of hard to accept a new one so soon, so to speak.
Yes. There is a notable absence in this command lance for a mandatory gathering. Can I ask where that personnel is?
He's probably somewhere, probably doing his best not to think too much. Or a lot. Not really sure at the moment.
Is this how your unit operates?
Not typically. Warrant Officer McGurk's previous commander was his best friend that he knew for years since I believe it was the War of 30-39.
Yes, I recall the War of 39. I was a young officer then.
He's one that are especially not quite ready to fully almost celebrate or to honor new commander so soon.
I see.
He needs no disrespect. He just needs time to either think or not think, depending on how he's handling this.
So I want to be clear that there's no emotion showing on this person's face at any point. It's like talking to a shark with a top knot.
Yeah. I'll be sure to see that we have him introduce himself before we head off.
I will provide you with a copy of my book, Major.
You have a book?
I wrote several tactical manuals as part of the Admiralty on strategy and logistics.
Very well.
My previous posting was part of the Draconis Combine Warship Revival program. I personally was part of the transit and assembly teams for some of the new frigates that are being rolled out.
Quite interesting.
You are the only person in the inner sphere who thinks that.
That doesn't sound right, but sure. Big ships, big guns.
I'm afraid that the Kyushu class is neither a big ship nor does it have big guns. But it is quite a deadly threat to anything but other warships.
Okay, well. A little bit less interesting then. Is there something that you wish to discuss, General?
We will have plenty of time to discuss unit operations in the future. Do you have any immediate concerns for me, Major?
I do not.
He gives you a slight bow and then turns and reaches into his naval fatigues and pulls out like a cell phone and starts texting someone right in front of you.
Slap it out of his hand.
Wow. Pondo, he means no disrespect. Rad. What's up, bitch?
All right, maybe me meant a little bit disrespect. Good thing he's not here. I guess just motion the others to leave if our business is done here. Okay. Internally feeling that all this preparation was a bit of a waste of time.
Welcome to every change of command ceremony.
Yeah, I was
there
gonna say,
was.
This is pretty authentic, actually.
It really is.
No, I know it is.
You know what? I think everybody should stand around all day Saturday so that one jackass can read his single written paragraph that he wrote that every other commander reads at every other command ceremony there has ever been.
As soon as we're out of the office a ways, I'm gonna like nudge Band-Aid and goes, I told you he had a sword.
She's like, yeah.
Oh yeah, she rocked you, bro.
Believe it or not, most commanders have swords.
Do you have a sword?
I do.
Okay.
Do you always carry a
why.
sword on your left?
No.
Constantly? Well, there you go.
Well, it's
That
on
was
his
my
right
insider
because
intel.
he's left-handed, so
Actually, it would be on my left because I'm right-handed.
yeah.
I thought you said left.
Yeah, so
My
he's
sword would be on my
left-handed,
left.
which means his sword is on the right-hand side of his body, so he can
No,
draw.
I was meaning from when we were talking earlier. I thought you said something about his left.
Yeah, he's left-handed. Yep.
We're on a planet, right?
Yes, you're on the planet Richmond. It's near the periphery of the Draconis Combine.
What's this planet like?
It's a small world, fairly temperate.
Are we at like a spaceport, or are we in like a giant field that's just been set up as like a rally point?
Every spaceport is currently completely full. You have been set up in a rally point, but that rally point is within other rally points. You're looking at one of the largest assembled ground forces in history since Tukid. Like hundreds and hundreds of mechs.
I feel like everybody
of tanks.
probably thinks that Butch McGurk is in a bar drinking, but he's actually on like a park bench, like throwing bread to like ducks. Just sitting there, just feeding ducks.
I don't know. I don't think Bandito did think you were drinking.
Just feeding ducks. He could think whatever he wanted to think.
Yeah, but I don't know. You're doing something, just not here.
Yep.
I feel like a elderly gentleman. You could tell that he was once like a very straight-laced corporate guy. You know, maybe he just retired yesterday. His hair is completely wild, but he's still wearing like a pressed suit that he doesn't need. The corporate logo has been removed from it, and it's obvious it's been removed because everything underneath it is still like perfectly starch black, and everything around it has been like wash faded. He's got a cane, and he's like walking towards you, and he says, "I haven't seen you around here before."
Nope, just in town with the rest of the soldiers, I suppose.
There's quite a few of you.
Yeah, I think a fair number of us will be heading out here pretty soon.
That's what I've heard.
Have a seat.
He sits down next to you, and he's just like,
offer him like a couple loaves of bread. Not loaves, I guess a couple slices of bread.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a lot.
If he wants to feed the ducks with me.
He's just like, never fed the ducks before.
I've always liked it.
I walked through here on my lunch break, but never seen anyone sitting here either.
Well, first time for everything.
He decrusts the bread and then he throws the whole crust out there, and the ducks are like battling to tear it apart before he starts working at like little thumb-sized pieces of it to throw at the ducks that are directly in front of him. It's very awkward.
I grew up around a lot of animals in my childhood. This is always found this to be soothing. What do you do?
Retired for a lifetime of service to the dragon and
Living the dream.
The clans.
What? How do you mean?
Richmond was under clan control until a couple of weeks ago.
For how long?
Almost a decade. Smoke Jaguars. Know about them?
Yeah, I've heard of them.
Kind of gives like a little false laugh, like, haha, yes, I thought you might have. He taps his cane against the ground as he throws out some more.
So, what was that like?
You know, when I was a boy, there was always this concern that the Lyrans were going to get us. The Lyrans were going to invade the planet, and what do you do then? And you submit to the Lyrans, of course. You know, life won't be that different underneath the Lyrans, is what they tell you. You know, not the voice of the dragon, of course, but, you know, your father, your mother, your uncles, you know, the priests, they tell you, the Lyrans, it'll be okay. And then it was Rasselhag. Rasselhag will invade. They want revenge for keeping them down. Submit to Rasselhag if they come. Life won't change at all. When the Smoke Jaguars came, life was pretty different for a very long time.
Seemed like you made it through it.
We had to do things I'm not particularly proud of.
That's a sentiment I'm familiar with.
You know what? Grandchildren and I are alive.
Sure, you're looking forward to spending lots of time with him in your retirement.
Well, you know, they have to work now, and, well, it's not like the clans were running a retirement package for me, but I'm hoping the Star League can take care of us. It's hard to know what's going to happen tomorrow. Almost seems like the Smoke Jaguars were never going to leave. Pretty deep in Jaguar territory. You know, tomorrow it could be Ghost Bears, Nova Cats, Hell's Horses.
Well, tomorrow's never been more unclear, I feel like, than it is today.
Pulls out a little flask from inside his jacket and hands it to you. And he's just like, a little something I kept from my company days. You know, get you through the afternoon.
Well, I appreciate that. He'll take a nip off of it.
It is absolutely awful. Like
Perfect.
that Bacardi 181. Like 90% alcohol.
It's like, oh, god damn.
Nothing to cut it with.
Well, sure have enjoyed talking to you. Suppose it's just about time for me to get back to work. Just a little bit more to do before I'm right there next to you in retirement. Guess there's nothing much left but to get it done.
He holds a hand out for you and says, "Thank you."
Shake it. I'm saying, take care of yourself. Take care of those grandkids.
So he starts, as he's walking away, he's
I
still...
leave the bread like on the
He's
bench.
decrusting another piece of bread.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything anyone wants to do before your, not just your unit, but every unit on planet is being called to like a massive super gathering of 24 regiments for
I want to
a briefing by the prince?
I want to basically profile this guy. I want to know his name
Which guy?
and address. The guy I just talked to on the bench. If I have to spend the rest of the day like wearing a solid colored baseball cap and aviators and like the gray hoodie, like following him around, I'll do it.
Understood.
But, I want to know who he is so that McGurk can basically have his next like 4 or 5 checks deposited in this guy's bank account.
Sure. Do you have any points
point,
in
money-
investigation?
Money means nothing to McGurk really at this point. No, but I do have a lot of XP, Arthur.
Well, you tell me what you want to do, and then I'll let the dice hit the table when you're ready.
I guess I can't call like Rapier and be like, I need a favor.
You could call Rapier, and stalking people creepily is something that
literally what he does,
he's been
right?
paid to do for decades.
Yeah, I call him up and I'm like, hey, somebody did something nice for me and I want to do something nice for them, but I need to know their deets.
All right, you want this guy killed?
Nope. Just
So
wanna
you're not speaking metaphorically.
Nope. I just want to be able to direct deposit in his bank account.
So you want me to
Or leave a check under his pillow. I don't care.
You
how
want me
it
to
happens.
stalk a random guy so that I can get his banking details for you?
Or address.
Okay.
I could snail mail it to him. I don't really
Yeah,
care.
this isn't
how it
even going to
happens.
cost you a favor. This is Sunday for me, really.
I know it's child's play for you, and that's why you're the man that I called.
So we see him strapping into his elemental battle armor.
The next thing we see is this poor old man like strapped into a chair, like getting slapped around.
7 plus his investigation skill. So we get like in the cityscape, we get this guy just like going around doing freshly retired guy things where he's like looking at things and he's like, oh, I never noticed, I've never stopped to notice that on my walk after work, and he's like, oh, the world is so different now, like now the clans are gone. But above him, like Batman, but it's the middle of the daytime, is an urban camo painted elemental that's like hit because the missile packs are at head level. when his visor leans over, there's also like 2 massive anti-personnel missiles pointed at this guy.
It's basically like the tumbler from Batman, except shaped like an elemental.
Yeah. He's like jumping from building to building.
Yeah.
The guy stops to ask for directions at some point, and Rapier is just like walking down the street casually. The guy turns, and Rapier like turns away, pretends to be like
stops,
a statue
leans
of
up
an
against a light
elemental.
pole.
At some point, like he's stuck there for so long that people come forward and are like throwing money at his feet, and someone's just like, "Wow, that is a great modern art interpretation of an elemental. It looks authentic." Yeah. Several hours later, Rapier has his full details. The man's name is Gregory Zuko, and he is his bank account is available to you.
All right.
If you want to do some creepy shit.
Yeah, I just deposit money in it.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, I mean, McGurk probably has a lot of money, and it means nothing to him. So, you know, however much it is to McGurk, he deposits what would be a large amount of money for a retired man trying to, you know, help support his grandkids kind of situation.
Yeah, understood.
You know, maybe not like live forever without a care for $1, but like a life-changing amount, right? Like if somebody dropped 200 grand in your bank account, that'd be
your rich uncle died.
Pretty sick. Yeah. Yeah. And just a note, right? Can I have like a note? It's just like keep those ducks well fed.
Oh, like the memo on the bank note?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody else got anything they want to do?
So we've been in space for a while, coming here from where we just were, and then pretty much after we're leaving to head to clan space. So
you don't know that yet, but yes.
Okay. I mean, I guess the question is I mean,
you've been in
Richmond's
space for a month and a half. Yeah.
Yeah. Can we at least have some away time, go out and have a nice time in town? So probably before the briefing, which probably leads to another deployment.
Yep.
I think that
given the size of the people involved, unless it's a victory speech, it's probably another deployment.
That's it. Yeah. So Medusa's probably just going to try and get away from the base on the town for a bit. Before the next day when the meeting is. I don't need to play that out, but just
Yeah, I mean, you hear a lot of rumors from the local civilians. A lot of people thanking you for your service. They assume that you were involved in freeing this planet, or if not this planet, then some planet. The biggest rumor right now is that you're gonna go deploy against the Ghost Bears. Like, you're gonna completely free the Draconis Combine from the vile terror of the clans. Selena, do you have anything going on? Because you actually get a message.
I'll check the message.
The message is inviting you to a lunch.
Who's it from?
Technically, your immediate superior. So you are a ambassador of the Magistracy of Canopus. You're being invited by the heir to the Magistracy of Canopus. I believe her name is Naomi Centrella. Or is it Danai? My bad. Danai Centrella. She's basically going to be your queen one day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's probably worth pointing out the Magistracy of Canopus are technically a democracy, but they just always happen to elect the next person.
Correct.
In the family.
Yep.
But it is actually technically a democracy.
There's a lot of technical democracies in Battletech.
Yeah, I read up on the Majesty of Canopus when I picked it, like how they don't always, look up to men, because it's usually a lady in charge.
Yep. So Denai is inviting you. The message is a little weird. She never actually uses your name. She addresses you as ambassador, and the meeting time is set for after the deployment meeting that you're about to go to, and the reason for this lunch tea time is not listed. Like, this is all very unusual for you.
What would it normally be like?
Oh, it would be like, hello, Selena, it's me, another person from the Magistracy of Canopus. let's sit down and have lunch. I want to catch up with you. This is very, like, it's almost as if a social media manager who's bad at their job wrote this for her, for you.
Okay.
Because you've heard that she's quite good at what she does. I mean, she's a major of a celebrated military unit. She's, you know, the heir to the magistrate's legacy.
I guess I'll send a message back asking her where they want to meet.
Almost instantly, you get pinged back like a nice little magistracy cafe. It's called the Screaming Eagle.
Okay.
It's supposed to be like a Canopian ethnic group thing, but from what you can tell, it's more like a pizza place that says it serves authentic Italian food, but it just serves like American style pizza. But from the pictures that you get on Comstar Google, you know, it's got like catgirl statues and like popular Canopian pop music that plays over the speakers, that sort of deal.
Okay.
It's like someone asked you to go to McDonald's to meet because you're an American.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Okay.
I think I'll let Bandito and McGurk know about it and see what they think.
Bandito immediately goes paranoid. He's like, "You're gonna be killed. You're gonna be replaced and killed."
I'll go with her.
Well, you have the big meeting first.
Oh, what big meeting?
The big deployment meeting where you're about to get your new orders.
Gotta meet the prince, dude.
Okay. Yeah, I'm at that.
Pondo, has anything happened with Bandito? Anything he's doing between now and then?
I don't know. Bandito would attempt to send a message to the Countess saying, met the new commander.
So, yeah, Comstar will put your message in the buffer, but it indicates that the message will not send for at least 2.5 years. You're under interdiction.
Okay. I feel like we would make it back home by that point.
Yeah, that's pretty much the exact reason why it's that long.
Okay, not bother then.
Well, no, see, the thing is, you compose the message and you send it, and then you get a ping back, and then you get like a live call from Comstar tech support. An acolyte is just there, and he's like, excuse me, Vincent, according to your account details, you're under interdiction. It seems as if we've put a lock on your file. You're not going to be able to send any messages for about 2.5 years. If you'd like, though, feel free to send all the messages you want. We'll order them like a video diary. And when the interdiction ends, we'll send them all in the proper order so that the recipient can get them chronologically. That's just the service we provide here at Comstar.
Was Bandito ever informed why he got an interdiction?
No. Well, Operation Bulldog is under military communication interdiction, so that no one could accidentally communicate anything about the invasion.
I gotcha.
But it's weird because all of the Smoke Jaguar planets have been conquered now. Like, your job should technically be over.
It's just the interdiction's been extended.
Extended, yep, indefinitely.
Yeah, okay. Oh, I guess no, that'll be fine. I'll just send that one for now, and
okay, we'll get them. We've got your file right here. You send all the messages you want. We'll get them sent when the interdiction is over. I'm just gonna send you a survey real quick. If you could fill it out, it would really help me out with doing my job. I send you the new Comstar Star League satisfaction survey. You know, like, how did you feel the incident was resolved? Was the quality of the service up to your standards?
Anything less than a 10, he gets a talking to as well. So.
Put all 10s except for 1 9.
What'd you put the 9 in? Friendliness of the associate.
Personal hygiene.
Wow. That feels like it would be a bold statement on a customer service to have like a column for personal hygiene of the associate. Ooh, there's a couple corporations I would not want to see that on. You just pick something to give them a 9 in?
10 as for the 9 on like the speed of message sent.
Okay.
How likely are you to recommend Comstar to a friend?
Ask me back in 2.5 years.
It's a monopoly, so it's not like you can ask anybody else.
I don't know. Maybe we start asking this word Blake guys.
Ooh, wow. Oh my goodness, there's probably people who do that in the Battletech universe. They're like, you want me to switch my service to Word of Blake? Because I will in an instant. And they're like, Word of Blake doesn't work here, ma'am.
They've got a new subscriber promotion going on right now.
They haven't invaded this planet and stolen the HPG from our cold, dead hands.
I've got this K-Series black box right here. I'll use it.
I got my hyper
pulse generator
mech. All right.
Yeah, the 7 billion C-bill mech, the most expensive mech in history. I love that mech. You could buy a warship for that mech,
and you can nuke a planet with it.
True.
You still could make a phone call with it.
No, it has a hyperpulse generator on it. You can make a phone call. You can make it a good phone call. You can send that phone call 30
I was thinking if you bought the warship, you could.
Oh, well, I mean, if it had a lithium battery, you could jump, have a conversation, and then jump back, and it would be like you phone called them. Feels like that would be a waste, though. Yeah. Anything else you do, Vincent Gray?
No, I got nothing.
All right. All of you are gathered for a meeting. Thousands are in attendance. It is a little hard to enforce order in such a diverse collection of military units whose standards of discipline are quite different. But when the prince gets on stage, everybody more or less shuts the fuck up. The prince outlines that many of your units are being selected. You have been selected to continue on, whether they are mercenary units who are being activated with special contract provisions, or whether the heads of state of various governments have selected these units for further service. They are all joining Operation Bulldog in heading into the periphery and following the clan line of evasion back to the clan homeworlds. The final plan, the solution to the clan problem that the Star League Council and First Lord Sun Tzu Liao has authorized, is to invade the Smoke Jaguar homeworld and forever end their threat. To show the clans that war is not a game, that the Inner Sphere is very serious, and that if they can do it to one group, they can do it to all group. The problem, of course, is that, as the Prince outlines, that they really expected the Smoke Jaguars to not retreat or surrender in any way, and so many units were shocked by the first 3 waves of the invasion that Smoke Jaguars almost en masse retreated home. He reveals the details of a secret invasion force called Task Force Serpent that was sent months ago that is already en route to Huntress, the Smoke Jaguar homeworld. And
didn't they actually abandon Richmond before the Innisphere even arrived to liberate it?
Like a whole military unit did, and just left behind like a provisional cluster. Like they were like, all right, you guys suck. You stay here. We're gonna go get help. And then they never came back. That's how that went down. What's that thing from Get Help from Guardians of the Galaxy?
Yeah, Get Help.
From, yeah, that's what they did.
Yeah.
From Ragnarok.
Yeah, Ragnarok.
I hate Get Help.
So whole clan military units are going to fall behind. They're going to land on Huntress and be like, oh, look at these inner sphere that are fighting on Huntress. Let's kill them. So it's now a race between when Task Force Serpent arrives and they hope wins the battle for Huntress. Then the clan reinforcements show up to kill Task Force Serpent, and now Victor Davian's group, Task Force Hunter, showing up to kill the reinforcements that are killing everybody else. It is a thousands light year long game of tag, and everyone else got a head start. Individual mission briefings are being handed out to company level commanders, which means you get one, Vincent. Your dropship is being reassigned to another jump ship, so the rest of your unit's going to stay intact. But your dropship is going to be reassigned to one of the provisional supply jump ships, because there's not enough space on your jump ship anymore now that you have 4 dropships.
Right.
Because Cotton hired Eric's character and his dropship. You now no longer have enough space to carry the whole unit.
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to mess that up.
No, it's even better now. I get to enact certain parts of the storyline I didn't think I would be able to. You can already see that people who have family or best friends on your dropship, for instance, Howler and his wife, they're just like, don't worry, we'll shuttle over to see each other during the week between the jumps. They're all crying and patting each other on the back. McGurk, you're coming to the realization that you're about to spend 9 months throwing up every week, once every 164 hours or something like that.
Cool.
And then there's going to be assuming you live, then it's going to be the trip back.
Can I just go in cryo freeze or something?
No, that doesn't exist.
Can I be medicated such that I'm just passed out for?
Yeah, Dramamine
not the
or something.
whole trip, right? But
just for the jumps, yes.
Yeah, or something.
So it's going to be like Battlestar Galactica style, where they send a scout ship ahead, and then everybody else jumps, and then a rear ship stays behind to make sure nobody misjumped before catching up. So you'll have a very strict schedule of when the jumps are going to happen, so you'll be able to get medicated. Probably someone in your unit has been assigned to you as your personal nurse assistant.
My anesthetist.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Specifically, Major Gray, because your unit has a entertainment corporation as part of their dropship, you will be producing new live content to keep morale high throughout the travel. And they are requesting, they're not ordering, but they are requesting any specialist in Solaris mech combat to provide commentary of old fights. There's literally only one member of your company right now that has that qualification.
And he's doped up on Dramamine.
I'd love to. That'd be great. I can do that right away.
It's not you. You never were a Solaris fighter.
I was saying in chat before with the USO show of Operation Bulldog.
Yes, you are the USO show of Operation Bulldog.
It's me and Billy, and we're the two guys from the movie Dodgeball.
The other thing that your entire unit, all of Crow's Black, is being assigned to is referees. So during the transit, they're going to be hooking together all of the jump ships and warships in a network and running battle simulations. And Comstar will be providing the clan side of things, and the Inner Sphere units will be acting as themselves. And they want your unit specifically to act as referees during that battle. So various lieutenants, captains, and yourself, Major, will overlook the battles and basically be like, well, that's not what a clan unit would do, or that, you know, like, that was a terrible tactical error, and here's why.
I want to be a huge dick.
Good. That's precisely why you've been chosen. You have been selected.
Excellent.
What's the relative amount of like experience here? Not overall experience, but where does Crow's Black stand in like how much clan fighting experience any of the people here as part of this operation
So
have?
all of these units took part in Bulldog, which means they invaded at least one planet and blew up a clan unit there, which doesn't actually mean that much because all of the Operation Bulldog planets were invaded by like 3 times the amount of force necessary to conquer it. You know, it was a massive operation meant to blitz them.
Okay.
They assumed that the clans would put up a strong fight, and they just didn't. If you mean what is the level of the experience of other units compared to yours,
Yeah.
some of the best units that have ever fought in the Inner Sphere have been committed to this. The Alshane Regulars, now called the Alshane Avengers, were assigned. Both regiments of the Genyusha, which are like the premier #1 unit of the Draconis Combine, were assigned. Comstar assigned like 12 divisions. The 10th Lyran Guards were assigned, which is the best unit in the Lyran Alliance.
Okay.
So, like, there were 6 other Lyran units that were, or sorry, 5 other Lyran units that were assigned, but like, the best of the best are the ones that are moving on. Several other mercenary units that are quite famous, Kel's Hounds, Northwind Highlanders, are all coming with you. And Clan Wolf in Exile is also coming along. So these are Clan Wolf guys that were like, you know what? We like being in the Inner Sphere better than we like getting the shit kicked out of us by other clans. Not exactly how that worked out. I'm really summarizing like 8 books, but...
So my dogs are going insane.
There's some
right
heavy
now.
hitters.
You can see 'em.
Listen, the heavy hitters are so good that an entire Capellian warrior house has been assigned to join, which is pretty rare. They've almost never left the borders of the Capellian
I mean, I get that
Confederation.
we're small fish in this big pond,
Yeah.
but I mean, even with all the
You have
prestige,
you have a decade of fighting the clans. So
I feel like how many of these other units have been engaged in this decade of guerrilla warfare, you know, with overwhelming clan superiority?
in actuality, the number of units that have faced the clans as long as you have are quite low. So a lot of
Okay.
these units are very storied and have long time combat ability. But
With the
they're
exception of like the Wolf in Exile, which they
yeah, I
are
mean, Wolf in
playing.
Exile are actually clanners.
Right, right.
Comstar surprisingly does not have a lot of experience fighting the clans, but they are known as clan nut kickers. So
And does and I just want to kind of put my feelers out there. Does Crow's Black have a reputation among these other mercenary units?
Yes,
and if so,
you do.
what is that? How much does that range?
So the problem is that Vincent Gray has a specific reputation as Kenneth Cross's killer. Whether it's been proven or not, there's famously a movie that you starred in about it.
Right.
So what, you know, it's like any conspiracy theory. No one's really sure whether it's real or not, but everyone's got an opinion.
Sure.
Other than that, Crow's Black has a reputation for being these kind of suicidal, unorthodox. I can't believe that actually worked, but it did work. No one is in a haste to repeat your battle strategies, but probably they've all, from whatever you've released, like whatever public documentation they've had, they've definitely taken a look at them.
Okay, so it's unclear as to whether or not Crow's Black is good or lucky and ridiculous.
I think all 3 are a thing that people believe.
Okay,
They haven't figured out plot points yet. They're still trying to work on that magic. So.
based on this gun cam footage, they definitely should have absolutely exploded right here. And then over here, this clan guy, he was not going to fall down, and then he did fall down. Like there was a fucking banana peel or something on the ground. Nobody can figure it out.
It's almost like they're player characters.
Yeah. Okay.
So you all have just a few days to say your goodbyes, wrap things up, and then get on your dropship that you'll be sealed in for the next 9 months. You're basically, all you'll be able to do is go into the jump ship that you're assigned to and take shuttles to other jump ships to go meet with people on those jump ships, which will be strictly regulated because of the needs of like oxygen and food and temperature. You can't just like have hundreds of people show up on a jump ship all of a sudden.
Who are we saying goodbye to? Everyone we know we can talk to is coming with us.
That's true.
Or we can't talk to them. Goodbye, ducks.
All right, my bad.
It's been good.
Goodbye, ducks. I love the idea that it's like the last thing you do. It's Top Gun. You're there on a motorcycle with your biker leathers, and you take your glasses off. You're like, goodbye.
Dropships in the background taking off, going on this space.
He and Rapier side by side ride towards the ramp of the dropship with the engines going off.
Yeah.
They both bike leap up onto the launching dropship.
The flying V of ducks goes by across the sunsetting sky in the background.
I feel like we're about to stray into some Mighty Ducks territory at some point.
Yeah. Knuckle puck.
Bash Bros.
Yeah.
Was there the one duck with like a mangled foot that you named? You're going to come back and check on next time we pass through Richmond?
Old Stumpy.
Mr. Hobbles.
Mr. Hobbles. That's a good one. Selena, you've got your meeting with, the princess.
Possibly the princess.
Which is not what she's called.
What is she called?
Denai Centrella. Major Denai Centrella.
Okay.
Technically, she's the heir to the magistress, but as has been noted, it is theoretically a democracy. Insofar as everyone does whatever the magistress says. Period. End of story.
So one of the funny things with the royalty of the Magistracy of Canopus is that all of them, when they have mechs, they tend to paint their mechs in really vibrant, like fluorescent colors, like fluorescent green or pinks, that sort of stuff. That's how they sort of, you know the royal family by their camo patterns.
Nice.
I'll go to my meeting though, dressed in whatever you'd normally wear in the Majesty of Canopus to show respect.
Okay. I mean, she's wearing like a black evening dress, completely sleeveless, deep cut V affair kind of deal. Looks completely out of place in this McDonald's, essentially. Screaming Eagle.
She's dressed like Princess Amidala.
Is that what they do when they go to meetings? Is they dress in like evening gowns?
Some people in the magistracy do. Yeah. What is your choice? Like anything that shows off that you are powerful and wealthy would be appropriate, or your military uniform would also be appropriate.
I'll wear a fancy evening dress. That sounds fun.
Okay. Yeah.
She dresses up fancy, and I'm going with her. I'll dress up like Captain Comstar or whatever.
Commander Starleague.
Commander Starleague.
All right. So here's the thing, like. The Centrella security stops you at the door and doesn't let you in. So I want you to imagine an empty McDonald's and people are being turned away by two guys in black suits with very obvious bulges underneath their left shoulders. But then all these kids that want to go to the McDonald's are basically stopping. They're like, "It's Commander Starleague!" And they're running forward.
I let her go in once I see that it's safe. I let her go in by herself, and I stay outside and like sign shit for kids or take pictures or whatever.
Listen, people are calling their like family members to bring their kids to get things signed by the real Commander Starleague.
That's right.
Then I gesture for you to sit across from her, where there's a waiting. It's completely out of place, like porcelain teacup. You can see that the staff in the back is like preparing a huge amount of burgers for whenever people are allowed to come in. They're gonna like sell a whole bunch of stuff, but they leave the two of you alone. And Danai says, "Ambassador, please come sit down."
I'll take a seat.
This is our first meeting, I believe, but I feel like I know so much about you already. Your exploits are rather famous, the ones that have reached print.
Which exploits?
Well, there are some who would call you a traitor, but that's obviously been blown out of proportion. Your exploits with Crow's Black are what I'm referring to. There was one file that came across my desk, though, that did concern me.
Which one?
It had to do with your medical residency.
What concerns you about my medical residency?
There was a report that's been forwarded to me by Comstar. Questions about a certain procedure you performed.
What kind of questions?
So she like stirs her tea as if she had put sugar in it. She didn't. She's just stirring it for no apparent reason. As she stares at you with a sort of electrifying glare and says, "Is it true? Did you do it?"
I think you'll have to be a little more specific.
It's all right, my dear. He is, you know, a man and an enemy nation. The Conquerdon is hardly a friend. I just want to know if you did it.
What would it mean if I did?
So she seems to take that as confirmation. And she's just like, well, I can appreciate that that's the way some people solve their problems. I would just hope that you would be more discreet in the future. I'm no beginner to political games, Ambassador Lockwood. I would just hate to see anything like that happen during this operation. If you have enemies that you need taken care of, speak to me and I'll deal with it politically. No need to make everyone around you drop dead.
I'll keep that in mind.
I think that when you return, after this successful operation with me, there might be a place for you on my staff. I could use someone with your unique tenacity and propensity for violence.
I'm not sure if that's a compliment.
So she sips the last of her tea and stands up. Is that Commander Starleak?
Yeah, I guess he's with me.
I understood he was a bit of a buffoon.
Yes.
And he's with you, you say?
Yeah, he came with me here.
You know the most interesting people.
You have no idea.
Good day, Ambassador.
Although she didn't correct her. She wasn't like, no, he's not a buffoon.
That'd be lying.
Yeah.
He's a buffoon. Yep, there he is. Uh-huh.
So she leaves, her security guards leave, and people begin flooding in to get their Canopian specific ethnic burgers. And, you know, cat spice fries or something like that. I didn't really think this through, but, you know, I'm assuming there's gonna be some form of specific foods. Surprisingly,
in chat, I think Canopus is sort of very Greek influenced, isn't it?
Yeah,
I believe
it's
so.
in one of their. It's Greek and something else.
So it's probably like gyros and
Euro.
Oh boy. Listen, this is a battle that neither of us will win and will continue until the end of time. All right?
Yes. Someone will say gyro or gyro
Yeah.
or euro.
Gyro.
I think it's just
it's
hero.
gyro. Basically like an Arby's, I guess. A Mediterranean Arby's. Outside, you're completely swamped by fans. Commander Starleague. Like one little kid comes by with his Menace gauntlet and his Menace mask, and he's like, "It's me, Star Captain Menace!" Ah! And he runs forward and starts punching you in the leg over and over again. It's not very hard, but it's like a lot of punching.
I just grab him by the scruff and like pick him up off of his feet. I'm like, our battle will be legendary. And I just drop him.
All the kids are like going over and they're like, "Oh no! Star Commander Menace, you were defeated!" Selena, you walk out to this. What do we call it? Buffoonery?
I think I'm just gonna salute to Star Captain and
I'm
leave.
just rolling on the ground with like children all over me. I'm like, oh god! And I'll be like, all right, kids. Captain Starleague is off to his next important assignment, but he's counting on you to keep this planet safe.
He's got a backwards chair he's sitting in. So,
Yeah.
you blew your alcohol limit.
Yeah. Listen, physical fitness, math, and
Old-fashioned values.
and milk will get you through those tough times in life.
Freedom. That's the Starleague way.
That's right.
In the most oppressive
He's saying
dictatorship.
he's saying this as he's like backing away with Selena like towards the car. And keep an eye out for that what was the bad guy's name?
Star Captain Menace.
He says that in character.
Yeah.
Star Captain Menace.
Everybody
He
acts
points
shocked when you say
He
it.
points at that kid that was dressed like him. Get him! And I turn and run.
Wow. All right. It's like a pack of puppies. It's like a wave of them subsuming the child.
Perfect.
Someone's parents are going to be very upset.
That's fine. McGurk doesn't think about that at all. He just
At least he got outside.
pats himself on the back for what a good job he's done.
Anything else you guys are doing before you blast off into space? Because I have to tell you, the entire next episode is only going to take place during the 9 months between here and Huntress. So you may want to think about things you want to do in space.
I'm just going to give a whole bunch of newbie officers a hard time trying to fight the clans.
Oh my god. Are you specifically like going to find people who rank lower than you and being like, "All right, Lieutenant, let's go over the 15 things you did right before I talk about the 700 things you did wrong."
No, I think he's
What
gonna
you
be
did
mostly...
right, turning your mech on.
What you did wrong.
I'm surprised
turning
you
your
could get
mech
that
on.
far.
I think it'll depend on the attitude or the people who are doing it. Like some of the people who are obviously like the big, I'm so great, ha 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 ha. You'll give a harder time. The others are like,
All right, so you're breaking people's egos down.
yes,
All right. I'd like you to make a leadership roll then.
okay, I can do that.
See how this goes. Whether you end up being the who's the guy that they turn into like a complete caricature of himself in Band of Brothers? Lieutenant Silva? Captain Silva? The guy who was always screaming Kurahi. No one knows who I'm talking about. All right. Band of Brothers fans in the chat know what I'm talking about. We salute the man, Captain, not the. We salute the rank, not the man. Here it is. Start up and shut down sequences for good. Oh, did you have to log back in? I could have just rolled the dice for you if you told me.
Go ahead and roll.
Yeah, tell me what your bonus is. 8.
I believe I have +5. I'll double check though.
Okay. So, yeah, listen. At some point, it's almost like they're assigning jackasses to you, like the Prince's command staff is purposely assigning people to you to like break down. You start going, the forces that you're representing are always like the same 3 units, and they're all like Capellians and Free Rasselhag Drakons and like a federated Commonwealth unit, and they all have like terrible reputations, and their horrifyingly bad officers are just like, well, I know what I'm doing because I was born to do this and my father had this position before me.
Well, you're not your father now, are you? Right now I'm seeing some sort of punk who's got a stick up his ass, thinking he knows how to use a... What mech are you even using?
It's a cataphract. It's the premier mech of the Capellian Confederation.
Oh, that ugly piece of shit?
That's what I said.
The bastardization of a marauder and a... The hell is even in that thing?
Shadowhawk, Phoenix Hawk, Marauder.
Is that it?
Yes.
Man.
Yeah, LB10X, AC, Ultra AC5, and a bunch of lasers.
Weird. It's very weird.
Yep.
And that's just the things that happen to you before you even reach the periphery. That's just on the way for the dropships to reach the fleet.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So we're talking not the largest fleet in history, but probably the largest one you may ever see. Numerous warships all leaving at the same time. Your dropship is on one of the jump ships that's like a trail car. They wait for all the other jump ships to go and then jump after it to make sure nobody had any problems.
Can I paint the biggest unoccupied wall I can find on the way?
On the dropship? Or, okay, yes. I mean, there's a whole Union class dropship for you to work with. Now, you do have one corridor that has been enshrined as like an epic art memorial, where when people look at it, they see whatever it is they desire most or their deepest trauma being healed, if you'll recall. Other than that corridor, there's plenty of places that you can paint, and you're gonna, if you want to paint the whole dropship, you're gonna run out of paint pretty quickly. It's a big dropship.
Probably not the whole dropship, but...
What are you painting? Myself, slicing the throat of my greatest enemy. Just gonna lay out all my sins for it.
Patriarchy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna paint a memorial to our former captain. Or commander,
Interesting.
and hopefully not mess it up.
Let's make this art roll. I mean, you can't get a 30 in this system anymore, but we'll see what you can do. See if you can nail those double sixes. Ooh, wow.
Oh, I got a 17.
What the fuck? Why is it always with these art rolls? I don't understand.
It's because they're insignificant.
You're insignificant.
They're not tied to a high stakes
These
situation.
are the rolls that I want to like nail every time though, so I'm fine with it. It's the most important rolls to me.
I feel like you tell me what it looks like, unless you want me to tell you what it looks like.
No, go ahead. If you have a vision, I'll hear it.
I want to imagine that there's like a viewing chamber where on the dropship, like a passenger lounge that has an open sky area, and there's you've redirected some of the lighting to put accent lighting on one of the walls, and it's Harridan dressed as a sort of Renaissance angel with the toga over one shoulder, pointing towards, so it's like on the curved deck towards the window. So if you follow his hand, he points toward the infinite expanse of the stars whenever the ship is in space. You know, he's got that finger drape as well. You know, like this. He's not pointing perfectly correctly. He's on like a cloud. There's little cherubs around him.
It's perfect because he would hate it if he actually saw it.
Like 16th Chapel, like touching fingers with like an archer, like in the same pose, like his favorite mech.
I choose to believe that Cotton's actually like a really bad cheat, but only cheats on rolls that like are in character and don't actually affect the combats or the actual story of the game.
She's got loaded dice for art rolls. And...
Yep.
If I had loaded dice for art rolls, I would have got double sixes again.
Again.
No, you don't always get it. You got to mix up with a few fives and
yeah. You're a good enough cheater, Notor. You can't just box card every time.
Hey, James, you watch Man Shorts. You know that you just drop a die and go 20.
That's it. Yeah.
You don't even look at it.
Yeah, they got like these huge metal dies now.
Yeah, some of them have 64 sides. It's crazy. I mean, it's part of the ongoing joke for her character.
When she rolls a d6 and declares 20.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Those are good ones.
Is there anything else you guys want to do tonight? Because I still want to give you the week to think about an entire year in space, essentially. I know some people, Rad has, and some audience members have picked up on some Haller Melissa drama, and you're going to be getting some of that next week. I'm going to put it in a paper bag. I'm going to shake and bake that chicken.
I was going to ask, when they were like being emotional about their goodbyes and stuff, did it appear as though one was less was more disingenuous than the other, perhaps?
It's hard to say. The emotions all seem genuine, but maybe more hyped up than normal.
Okay. Maybe not necessarily for the person that was present, perhaps.
I think that after the new commander said that, you know, nobody seemed to find his books very compelling, that there's got to be a scene at some point where Medusa's staying around, like holding onto a copy of like the 7 principles of military supply chain logistics, waiting for the commander to pass by so she can like get an autograph in this.
That's excellent.
Oh, it's like a white paper called "The Logistics of the Draconis Combine Admiralty Fast Warship Project and Attendant Forces and the Delivery of Such." And you know what? If you're a logistics nerd, this shit is hype. Okay,
Yeah, that's it.
but it's clear that this guy's job was not to fly a starfighter, nor did he command people who flew starfighters, nor did he ever command an actual warship. His job was to move pieces of warships to the places that they would be assembled at. In secret.
I feel like Bandito read the book at first, but then it's like, this is so dumb and boring.
It actually is incredibly boring.
That's right.
Then Medusa picked it up.
Logistics wins wars. Bottom line.
That's like, the way that you overcome those total cost of ownership issues, just wow. That's
He's just like, you know, very few people understand my work. we should speak further on this, Sergeant. I'm excited.
It's his first like show of emotion.
Who are you again? Yeah, I think we'll wrap up here tonight. We'll be back next week. Everybody good?
Yep.
That will be the last episode before the long break.
The long dark.
The long night. Yeah. Long night. That's a good one. I really did like season 8.
We can make the audience
3.
wait 9 months just to sort of be like make it in character.
Wow, that's dark, James. I don't think they'd come back to watch it. I'm worried they're not going to come back to watch that final battle. That's a long time.
I need you to lock
wait.
the entire playlist so no one can watch any Battletech until we come back.
That's bad for me because I just told you 50% of my viewership comes from that playlist. Not from Google search terms, not from anything else. That specific playlist. People get on that shit, it's like catnip. Or Pringles. Once you pop, you just can't stop. Brad, you still down to do Sea of Thieves after this? Sorry if you're not, because we'll just do it tomorrow still.
Yeah, let's just do it tomorrow.
All right. I'm still going to Sea of Thieves after this.
I do still have work in the morning, and then my weekend of
Glimo
bachelorness.
confirmed with us, so we're good.
Glimo tomorrow?
Yeah.
Awesome.
We'll do the new 3-man ship, which is actually the fastest ship in the game.
Cool. I'm excited.
You can fire yourself out of cannons while telling me that we're safe to go on the beach.
Or as long as I wait till it's the most inconvenient time possible, that's absolutely what I do.
Yeah, I know that's what you'll do. I've been there. We'll see your outro, Rad.
Okay. I had fun tonight.
Did you Wang Chung tonight?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
You couldn't see because it was off camera.
Everybody Wang Chung tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Perfect. Exactly what I was hoping.
Yeah, no, I had a good time. We wrapped up the combat like a lot, probably as could to be expected. I think for the most part. I'm interested to see what happened next. Not really being a connoisseur of BattleTech lore and history, a lot of it is exciting to me because I don't know what's going to happen. So, I'm into that. So
I want you to imagine genocide.
Okay. I don't really know what's going on with Bush McGurk. I think he's just comic relief at this point. I don't know. I feel like he's done his journey, and now he exists for the sake of everyone else's journey. Like he's just kind of a vehicle to facilitate other people's stories at this point. I think he's kind of hit his stride insofar as like. He is on his last hurrah. I don't know that he really expects to come back from this alive. And if he does, he's probably a little bit scared of what his life will even be like when it's over. Like he wants it to be over, but he doesn't know what that means for him, really. He doesn't know where he'll go or who he'll spend his time with or any of that. So
I felt that way about college.
With the exception of Billy, who's kind of his last remaining best friend in the world, he doesn't have a lot of connections to anybody. He didn't settle down. He didn't have any kids. He doesn't have any siblings that I've made up anyway. So I don't know. I think he's looking at what could be a very lonely retirement if he doesn't. And he's just choosing not to think about that at this point. So he's just kind of living in the moment. On his last caravan to war before he's once he feels like so that he can achieve some sort of sense of completion. So I don't know. I think I kind of feel like his arc has ended and he's not very interesting. So I just try and be silly with him for the most part because he's at a weird place where he's already crossed the threshold of his personal crossroads, and now he's just kind of going through the motions, I guess, a little bit.
Maybe he needs to die trying to Mechty.
Yep.
Listen, I'm so pissed about Shrine of Mechty. Let me tell you something. I don't understand why the writers were like, I feel like we're forgetting somebody. There must be a clan we forgot to include. Oh, blood spirits. That's right. And I'm sitting here going, Steel Vipers. What happened to those guys? They actually fought in the invasion, you motherfuckers. Where did they go? They just disappeared. Listen, it's 20 years later and I'm still mad about it. Okay.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
I posted something in Battletech chat for you, Rad, about retired dads.
Okay.
Looks exactly like how I imagine this guy. James, what about you? What do you got for outros?
So unlike Rad, I am a connoisseur of the fluff and am enjoying this lead up. I won't spoil it, people, though I will say don't worry too much about offending Deny Centrella. Operation Bulldog doesn't really go her way.
Wow, that's rough.
I'm GrimdarkJames, the Grimdark Podcast, grimdarkpodcast.com. You can catch me here on Thursdays and again on Saturdays for Rogue Trader, including this Saturday for Rogue Trader, where I will get to make Arthur's life hell again.
Leave him at the edge of death yet again.
But listen, Nero knew he would survive. He just wanted to win the fight. Surviving is what he does.
Can I quickly ask Cotton, would you say that Pondo is a natural leader?
I think so.
That's such a dangerous question.
I've now played or run in 3 games with Pondo where, like, so in this game, obviously he's fit into the mage's role. In Wrath and Glory, he was the acolyte, the head of the Grizzlies Warband. He's the rogue trader, and he just does commands so awkwardly. I find it amusing. I'm just curious.
I'm gonna say he is kind of a natural leader, but he's also kind of shy.
Okay. So I just had to dig it.
Yeah, with that.
Members before leaving.
I'm also playing characters who take command awkwardly.
Yeah, let's talk about your awkward outro then. Take command of the outros. I can make it awkward,
but I'm not going to.
Oh, I appreciate that. Maybe?
I am Ponder and Pondothemad. You can catch me on YouTube or Twitch, /Pondothemad, or you can find me here with Saturday nights with AP and James and Henley on Rogue Trader, where I'm a awkward leader there. Or you can find me on my own channel on Sunday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern with my 5e Gestalt game, my own world setting with Cotton. If you want, you can go back and watch Pokemon, where I'm just a professor that's just there. Yeah. As far as like the leader thing, I've had some leadership roles in my life. It's mostly me in this these situations going like, okay, how does this character react to this situation? Bandito's strange thing is he became a head just because his commander died. Now he has to fill those shoes, and he's got to figure out is everybody okay with this? No, yes, maybe, seemingly. With Lycus, it was pretty much like I got this nice fancy position. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah, I get none of these characters were groomed for this role. So
yeah. Except for Pierre, he was actually supposed to be groomed for the role in some aspects. But I think it's too early for him. If that makes sense.
That's going to be the name of the anime version of that show. Command is too early for her.
Premature Commander?
Yeah, oh my god. Premature Commander is such a good title. Oh my god. That's the name of the light novel. Okay. You got anything else?
No, that's it.
Perfect. Amazing. I just want to remind you, in the History of the World Part 1, they made a joke about, we've got so many gods in Rome. We don't have one for premature ejaculation, but I hear it's coming soon. And I was like, oh man, I'm a teenager. Should I be watching this movie? Cotton, you have a cat.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do your outro this time, even though I'm pretty sure I could do it. What do you have to say for yourself?
I'm Cotton. I doodle and stuff. I'm on AP's Thursday night Battletech, obviously, and this Tuesday night on the tabletop and Pondothemad Sunday night Gestalt game.
What's the name of that game?
Hunters of Wolverine.
Yeah. Why did you look panicked when I asked you that question?
I panic easily.
Being tested.
I'm kind of with Rad, where I don't know what to do with my character at this point, because my whole character was messing with my commander.
Yeah, it's true. I hadn't thought about that.
I guess I could just switch to messing with Bandito, but
That'd be par for the course for most of the unit.
I would say that's his everyday life for Bandito.
Since it's not fun to mess with Bandito because he's used to it.
I'll admit that actually was a concern in character that had been brought up to him in the storyline.
That people were messing with him too much?
No, that he no longer reacted in amusing ways.
No.
Because he's used to it. You know, like the whoopee cushion joke was probably done on him several times, so it's kind of like...
Who do you think I
Whatever.
am? You think I'm gonna use cheap whoopee cushion? Okay? Listen, it's dad puns all the way down. That's how I get them, all right? I don't need cheap physical comedy in order to achieve my goals.
I love dad puns.
That's it. We'll be back next week. We're gonna spend a year in space. Space.
Space.
Yep. All right, let me see if I remember how to turn the show off. It's been a while.